Ever since I was a something, I've been popping my collar, popping my collar. Kind of gives me uncanny valley. A lot of people say Taylor Swift can't dress. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hey, what's up if you're new? So in my return to YouTube, I noticed that my most viewed video so far is the best and worst trends of 2024. So I thought it might be interesting to do a 2025 trend prediction. But not only will I be doing fashion, I'm also going to be doing things about pop culture, technology, the economy, and etc. just to add a little spice to the mix. By the way, all of these predictions that I'm going to be mentioning in the video have no basis. They're just coming out of the random thoughts of my head. They're not fact. They're just kind of like what ifs. I'm just throwing it out there. Let's go ahead and take a deep dive into 2025 pop culture and fashion trends. Starting off with the fashion trends, number one is the fall of the designer / luxury space. We saw at the tail end of 2024 the Birkin being under fire for there being so many dupes. Walmart was selling a Birkin dupe, Amazon was selling a Birkin dupe, and many people were bamboozled at the fact that all of these big corporate companies were making duplicates of this $200,000 purse. I feel like now society doesn't really see a bag being worth $200,000 regardless of how handcrafted it's made. Of course, you will have the people out there in the world that are wealthy. They do want the real version of this bag. But now because of overconsumption, capitalism, people can access having something that looks exactly like a Birkin and it fulfills their desire to quote unquote fit in with the upper class. So we're gonna see over the course of the next few years, particularly in 2025, people are going to stray away from wearing designer logos and it's going to be a lot more quiet luxury. If somebody is wealthy, you're gonna have a hard time knowing. I also think in the designer space as well, you will see less logos on those products. We saw the rise of the Chanel bag in price and people are like, Chanel isn't even worth it anymore to buy it. So the downfall of luxury is here. Most of the time, people who are wearing logo-centric clothing or wearing purses like that, they are middle class and they're wanting to associate with the upper class. We're not going to see as much of that anymore unless that's just your aesthetic. Number two, Coachella will be boho again. I also am a little shocked that boho is already back because that means that our trend cycles are speeding up. You guys remember the brand Free People, right? Like Free People was known as this huge bohemian store. But when you think of boho and Free People now, you don't necessarily think of like Rachel Zoe, Nicole, Richie. You don't think of those boho type of elements whenever you think of Free People. You think of like a barrel jean and maybe a trucker hat as a Free People girly, whereas boho back then was like feathered earrings, gladiator sandals, maxi dresses, and we're just in such a different time when it comes to boho. I'm super excited for Coachella to be boho again, and we're going to continue to see the bohemian type of vibes all throughout the year. Number three, skinny jeans are not coming back like you think that they are. Because of Earle doing this campaign, I think it was with Frame, and she's bringing skinny jeans back. Earle's style is like on the same wavelength as Taylor Swift's to me. They have their own lane. A lot of people say Taylor Swift can't dress, but whenever you look at Earle, she literally reminds me of what a millennial would wear. Her always wanting to wear a skinny jean, it's very millennial coded. It's not cool girl aesthetic. So I think skinny jeans will make a comeback. I just don't think that they're going to be coming back in the way that they were in the early 2000s, 2010 era. I think what we're going to actually see is a more flattering boot cut. Thighs will be able to be seen more or accentuated more. I think more tighter jeans is definitely like a sexy kind of 90s runway model off duty kind of thing versus like a emo kid in the 2000s. Number four is country club attire will be trendy. And this is giving me nostalgia of like being in middle school and wearing a polo from Abercrombie or Hollister and like the song Poppin' My Collar being popular. Ever since I was a something, I've been popping my collar, popping my collar. It was a vibe. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you're probably too young, but that's okay. You're gonna be able to see like Sperry's and like different types of cargo shorts, maybe not even cargo shorts. You guys remember the plaid shorts? It's gonna be similar to that. If you would wear something to a country club, it's most likely going to be a trend in 2025. The next trend is clean girl makeup is on its way out. I love clean girl makeup. It inspired me to realize that less is actually more. You don't need that much excessiveness on your face. But honey, I will be always putting a full face on if I have the time. I'm very happy that this clean girl trend is going out. I think people are wanting to look more put together versus like, oh, I just rolled out of bed and I didn't try. And I would also say, because of the way that America is at least going, I think that there is going to be this like air to Americans that's trending again. Growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s, the way that Americans carried themselves seemed like higher status, whereas now I feel like overconsumption has brain rotted us. So for example, people shopping on Shein and doing these crazy hauls, that wasn't a thing in the late 90s, early 2000s. The way that people carried themselves is they took care of what they owned a lot more versus like just buying more and more and more. And I think that kind of lumps into how people physically want to present themselves, which is why the clean girl makeup is out. I love clean girl makeup, but I also love weird and eccentric artistic makeup, editorial makeup. Give it to me all. I need it. Love the clean girl moment, but she's on her way out. Bye, babe. Bye. See ya. See you later. So I'm gonna like switch on to the pop culture, economic, societal trends. Influencers will no longer overconsume and show as many large hauls. I think it's going to be distasteful when an influencer receives tons of PR, and when the economy or the recession hits, who knows if it's going to hit. People are already tired of it, so I don't think we're going to see as many influencers doing large PR hauls in the future. They'll probably only share brands that they really respect and admire and are getting paid for, rather than doing like, I got 1,500 items from Amazon today. And then moving right along, I feel like when influencers really took off, we saw them and we were like, wow, you live this lifestyle, you get to go traveling, you get to go shopping, you get to live in a high-rise apartment, you get to own a house, you get to do all these things. And at first it was really inspiring, but then as time progressed, all of these people started flexing on the internet. All of these people wanted to appear wealthy. All of these people started doing these things, as far as taking it as to renting cars just to post on Instagram, as far as renting out a studio that looks like a fake jet so that they could look like they're going on a private jet. It was going to the extremes, and I feel like we're going to see the downfall of that. So people who are going to rise up as influencers, they're not going to be people who have these aspiring lives. People who are going to rise up as influencers, content creators, they're going to be more friendly. They're going to be more like, I wish that I was friends with this person, versus like, oh, I wish I had that person's life. It's going to be like your online best friend versus the person who has your dream life. Like, of course, you will have people that still live that jet set life, and it's going to be something that people always aspire to. But I think now people are craving connection more than anything, and that's going to be the more popular person in 2025. This next one ties into what I just said, but it says social media actually being used to make friends again. Social media isn't necessarily used to be social anymore. I think Instagram is actually doing a lot to innovate their app to make it social again, whereas a lot of people, and I'm gonna get into this, I kind of want to do a little rant. I feel like I need to spread the good word, the good gospel. A lot of people have been hating on Instagram's updates, or like things that they've changed along the way with an app, and they're like, give me back chronological order, give me back all these things. And they have, and they've listened, and they've been taking feedback. But it's almost like when the newest iPhone came out, for example, there's all these updates to like how the photos are displayed in an iPhone. So many people are like, oh my gosh, put my photos back, I don't like this update. I'm looking around at all these comments online, and I'm like thinking to myself, everybody is complaining with Apple in general that there hasn't been any updates, or that things aren't changing. And then I'm like, when they make a change, people complain about it. I mean, you can't make everyone happy, but here's what I'm thinking. You sound like your parents. You sound like a boomer. You sound like somebody that doesn't want to adapt to changing technology. So when something comes out, yes, it's frustrating that you don't know how to use it, but at the same time, you need to be able to mold your brain, adapt to what is different, and teach yourself the newest technology, just like younger kids do. Kids catch on quickly. Some of these updates, maybe we don't need them, but you have to commend them for trying to innovate an app to where they want it to be better for their users, whereas other platforms like Facebook, night and day difference. So the fact that Instagram is actually trying to update it and make it more social, I think Instagram will be used again for social stuff. And another thing about Instagram is I predict that they will create a scrolling discovery tab. Kind of like TikTok, you have your friends, your following, and then you have like the explore page. I think Instagram is also going to implement that somewhere in the near future of 6 months. Mark my words for it. It's coming in 2025, especially if TikTok gets banned. Okay, so this next one is really random. I don't know. I put on here recession music, lots more dancing, and motivation to do better in life. The way that our country is going, America has to take a hit in order to pull itself out from under. We're gonna be in the trenches financially. If you've ever been in debt and you've gotten yourself out of debt, you know what that's like. It means sacrifice. So a lot of people are not going to be able to afford certain things, and this is when you either make it or you break it. For example, when something doesn't work out for me, it makes me extremely motivated to keep trying. If someone tells me no, I'm like, I'm gonna prove you wrong just for the sake of proving you wrong. Some people are not that way. They get very heavily discouraged. So I think for a lot of artists, when they are at their lowest point, aka like depression, or they're not seeing like sales or whatever, it gives them this creative boost to create, to make things. And I feel like we're gonna have recession music again, and people are actually gonna want to dance again. So recession core music will be happening in 2025 for sure. Is Nashville the new LA? When it comes to our economy, I feel like in California we just had these crazy fires, and there's a lot of people without homes, and they don't know if they're going to rebuild, etc. And in California is never going to be the same that it ever was because of the history that was just burned off the grid. People are thinking about other places to live, but also I think because of the economy and how people can't afford anything anymore, and the rise in conservatism, country in general. Like when Beyonce starts making country music, you know we're in a strange time. I think Nashville might be considered the new LA because country is popular. I'm not sure it's gonna be capital, like a fashion capital of the world, but I do see an influx of people moving to Nashville because of where our country is headed. This one was supposed to be grouped in with the fashion, but color is back in. Millennial gray is gone, sad beige is gone. I'm glad that color is back in, and we're going to be seeing lots of rich colors in people's homes and how they wear clothing, and I'm just so excited. Unfortunately, I'm about to say another negative one that I think we all can see is coming because of like the DEI being rolled back and all of these corporations not participating in it. We are definitely seeing a rise in a certain physical appearance. Also, with the trendiness of Ozempic, everybody wants to be skinny again. Heroin chic skinny is back in, and I also think because of this, instead of praising people for just being themselves, people are going to start being praised for actual skill sets and talents. I do think that we're going to see a lot of skinny back on the runway. Diversity will still be there and still be praised, but I don't think it's going to be looked at as the same. Also, with that being said, heroin chic skinny, when I think of that, I just think of Kate Moss. But Kate Moss was actually short for a runway model, and she made a difference for other models to get up on the runway and be like, look, I'm 5'6", I can get up here and do what the 5'10" girlies do. We'll see a rise of skinny, but it's almost like, it's not like, I don't even know if I can say this word. It's not like that is in, it's more like Ozempic is in. The complications that may come with that over the course of your life and you taking a prescription just to get skinny, that's a cheat code to life, and I just feel like over the course of time, something bad is gonna happen with that. Like, you know, cigarettes cause cancer, maybe this thing is gonna cause you whatever later in life if you are taking it. Unfortunately, I definitely see that being a huge ordeal, and we're gonna see a lot of new prescriptions for people trying to be skinny again, even more than we are now, and I think we'll start seeing the results of that too as well in 2025. But I do think that AI is going to become less popular because of the new AI technology that was released in China. The AI tech market bubble popped. I don't think it's going to be as valued, and I don't think it's going to be taking over like people were thinking, like AI robots, all this crazy stuff, which I do think it's going to have a place in our society. What is going to be popular is people learning how to decipher what is AI and what isn't AI, because I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the internet. I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know this was AI, but it was AI. This looks so real. We're gonna have to start finding ways to clock what is reality and what isn't reality, and I think that that's going to take some type of learning or something being applied to our society. There's gonna have to be regulations on it, because if you're posting AI content, there's a lot of AI content on YouTube where channels are just making tons of thousands of dollars because they just made stuff off of AI. And then there's also like advertisements, companies are using AI, but I don't think it's good for humans to interact with it. It kind of gives me uncanny valley, and that That stuff really scares the crap out of me. There's gonna have to be regulations about it, especially when it comes to brands and corporations and companies and all that stuff. So yeah, I actually have a lot more trend predictions of 2025. I just don't have enough time because I have no daylight left, but I hope that this video was something kind of different for you. I don't know if I should continue making them or if I should just stop altogether. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which trend you think might actually happen or which trend that you think is like totally out there, like, no, Raven, that would never happen. It's never going to happen. Stop saying that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Pull up in the 97